Listen to the Vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Listen to the Vibes. And I'm very privileged to have Miss Patricia Summerland here. Y'all might also know her from her days in G.L.O.W. And she was Sunny, the California girl. You know, she's a radio host, an author now, and you do everything. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
I will. Thank you for that great introduction, Kyle. That's awesome. Besides my love for rock and roll, right? Yeah, so I'm on a radio show I do on Sundays called American Adversaries. I've been a host with him for 12 years. I have my regular sports show. Yes, sports. I know, for a girl. Yep, I do sports. So it is called Mouthing Off on Sirius XM radio. We're on, actually, I don't know how many stations, 293 stations, military arms, armed force radio, all those stations. So I can't even tell you. We're all over. Myself with Eddie Mansfield, who's another, Eddie Mansfield, another ex-pro wrestler back in the day, the Continental Lover. He is the host, and I am the co-host on Mouthing Off. So I do that every Tuesday. And then that gets played on Saturdays on your nearest local station. So if you look up Mouthing Off all over the world, it's we're definitely mouthing off, that's for sure. We don't shut up on there. It's pretty cool. We've got some great rock and roll on the show in between. So that's what I like about it too. You got to have that with sports, right?
Oh, of course.
Right. Goes hand in hand. So yeah, I really enjoy it. The other one's a political. I do the local late breaking news here in California.
Mm-hmm.
So I cover that on Sundays. Yeah. So, and I love it.
And we're both big Kiss fans.
Yes, of course. And if you don't like Kiss, sorry, that's your fault. Because they are the best. Later, well, actually in the early 90s is when I got familiar with them. And I was blessed to go to their Psycho Circus concerts and be a part of their Psycho Circus, which was amazing. That was so cool. And then, of course, my Playboy issue in 1999, I was Ace Frehley and Paul Stanley because they go by the face. So you get that. I wasn't Jean, so I got the sexy one, Paul Stanley. I was so thankful. I'm like, yay, I got Paul. So we had the original makeup artist that did their makeup back then, which was Spiro is his name. Did their makeup. A lot of times they do their own makeup too, by the way. They sit there and they're able to do their own. But for our shoots, we had some Playboy makeup artists and we had Spiro there, the original. And so he did our makeup and it was pretty cool. And I had Ace Frehley as well. I got to be the moon man, the space man. So, and that's just awesome. Because one of the girls called out sick. So I casted the issue with Tommy Thayer. Him and I were in there. There was like 350 playmates that wanted to get in this issue. So that was pretty, I was like, whoa. Yeah, so it was pretty cool. There's 5 of us in each setup. So what is that? 20 girls made it. And then in the pull out, the middle section, which we are in the centerfold, there's all of us playmates. And we're all in our glory with our Kiss makeup and Kiss outfits. So it's all rock and roll garb. It's so cool. If you like rock and roll, you got to get that issue. I recommend it. And I'll show you real quick because it's got great articles. No pun intended, guys, but it does. See, it's got Lauryn Hill. Oh my God, it's got a Drew Carey, a great issue on Drew Carey, a great story, I should say. And then Beastie Boys, which are also friends of mine.
Oh, really?
So, oh yeah. So Karen, I used to model with Karen, Mikey's wife, and she's the manager of the Beastie Boys. Yeah. Back in the day, she wasn't married yet, I don't believe. And then let's see, we've got all sorts of issues. I mean, all sorts of stories. Irresistible Keith Olbermann. I don't know about that, but seductive Rudolph Giuliani. But you got to check it out. Rock and roll right here. The best issue of Playboy is this issue of rock and roll with the guys and Gene Simmons on the cover.
That's right.
We got Gene. Yeah.
That
was historic for that.
I'm not a fan of Keith Olbermann, by the way.
know. It's like, Keith, I know. I'm like, interesting, irresistible Keith. I'm like, no, I don't think so.
Until you actually see him and hear his voice.
Right? Exactly. Exactly.
You've had a pretty good career, but you had some health problems come up. Are you comfortable talking about that?
Sure. Last year was like talk about PTSD, which I hate to bring that up, but it happens when you think everything is okay and you send in this little test kit. It's called not wanting to get a colonoscopy. You choose to get that little box kit the doctor sends out. And I actually sent that in, and I knew I had some blood issues, and I wasn't really thinking it was anything because everyone's like, oh, it's nothing. It's, whatever, hemorrhoids or whatever it was. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be fine because I feel fine. I didn't know anything would happen. It came back positive. So I went in for an actual colonoscopy, and that's when they found a huge tumor that was laying flat in between the rectum and colon. So it was colon cancer, and they gave me 5 years to live last year. The doctor had called me and said, yeah, we need to get you in. We need to get you, in surgery ASAP. So I went into surgery. They got the tumor. They had to remove half of my colon and half rectum, which changed my whole life, my whole eating, my whole dynamics just changed. My whole, first of all, when you're told you have cancer, you're like, did I just hear that right? That it just changes everything in your life. You're like, okay. And when they say you're not going to live, you're going to die, it kind of, I had no words. Because I'm tough. I was a wrestler. I'm like, I got this. I go in to see my surgeon, and I was even telling jokes with him, right? I was in there sitting, and he's like, can you not be so funny because this is a serious thing? And I said, well, it's just my way of handling it, right? So he hands me a box of tissue, and he goes, here, because you're going to need this. You're not going to be laughing. And I said, okay. And he's just doing his job. I get it. Because they have to tell you straight up, this is the way it's going to be. This is what you're going to go through. And I can't tell you anything but, and that's when he said, well, you got 5 years to live. We'll see after surgery what happens. I can't say anything till after surgery. So I was fortunate. What I mean fortunate is it didn't invade my lymph nodes. If it would have invaded my lymph nodes and the blood vessels, I would have been doomed. So I was fortunate. By the grace of God, I dodged a bullet. Last year, same thing with, I had implants in, and I had lymphoma in my implants. And when they took them out, it went out with it. So I'm in a lawsuit, by the way, with Allergan for that. So that was another. So in 2020, I started major surgery, removed implants, did an in-block capsulectomy. For all women out there who have implants in, I recommend getting them out. Myself and many other playmates speak about this. It's very bad. It's just unhealthy. They're not healthy. They're not good for you. Mine were recalled. And I wasn't aware they were recalled. So that was another one. But so 2020, 2021, all this through COVID time, mind you. So I had all this alone because they weren't, no family could come in. And it was pretty life-changing. So today, people ask me, how am I doing? Well, when you have cancer and you're still at a stage, I'm stage 1A. 1A is like, you're in remission, but it could come back. So I take that serious. I go for my scans every 3 months. My CEA, which is blood test, it covers pancreas, liver, and colon. That's the CEA blood. Because colon cancer likes to attach itself to the lung and liver. So now I'm going in for my lungs because I have spots on my lungs, and they have to watch that. So we just hope that it's benign still. If it's not, then I have a battle, but I'm ready. I can face it. I stay optimistic. I help others in colon cancer group. I'm an advocate in that group. And there's so many people that we're losing, younger people, 19, 20-year-olds. So I can only recommend get a colonoscopy. Don't wait till you're like 50. You know what I mean? Don't wait. The recommendation is over 45, Do it way before, because it can save your life. There's so many people that are passing away with cancer and many cancers, but colon cancer seems to be very high rate right now. And that's because of sodas, all the preservatives and crap that's in our foods that we were raised with, that we eat. And I don't drink soda. Ironically, I was healthy. It's my dog. Ironically, a lot of people don't realize that everything we eat has preservatives unless you're going 100% plant-based and all that. Well, you know, you just have to watch it and eat healthy and try to eat as clean as possible. I cheat. I have a sweet tooth. I love my sweets all day long. I'm terrible with it, but I don't drink sodas. So when I went in, I was like pretty much really healthy, and I worked out, and I just couldn't understand why I got colon cancer. I'm like, wait a minute. My dad had colon cancer. He died of brain cancer, but there was no connection there, which was really weird, because I did the genetic testing and they said, no, it wasn't from your father. So I'm like, oh God, great. Yeah. So no stress, keep stress away, whatever you do, no stress, you know? And then my mother was a diabetic, a severe diabetic. So I watched my mother ever since I was little, give herself shots 3 times a day. That was the old school shots with the insulin, you know, and I lost my mother in 2014. So I kind of watch my sugar intake now a great deal. Yeah. You get a chance, I'm going to bring this up too. Get one of these. This will give us a little the G.L.O.W history of G.L.O.W, as you know. Yeah. So this is one of my comic books. I'm featured in Encyclopedia too. I don't have it in front of me. I have a hard copy like this and or a soft copy like this and a hard copy with Rocky Johnson and Jack Hager is in the book too. So it's all 3 of our stories in one. So they call it the encyclopedia, and it's pretty cool because Dwayne Johnson has a little thing in there as well. So got to check it out. Now I sell them. I sign my autograph and sell them. And and Rocky's passed on, you know, so it's really, Rocky Johnson was amazing, such a sweet guy, and he's in that and his story's in it. So it's really important to get that out and be heard, you know, as well. And let's mention Matilda up in heaven, Mountain Fiji. We have so many we've lost. Matilda recently, Angel we lost. You know, a lot of G.L.O.W girls are, and some we don't know. We haven't found them. So they're out in the world and hopefully they're thriving, you know, but a lot of us are, we're all getting older. But stay tuned for more of us afterglow stuff. You know, we're going to be out there. I'm just saying there's some things happening. Yeah, some exciting things. So, you know, for us original G.L.O.W girls. And reach out to me. I have plenty of Playboys. I sign, you know, for you, personally signed, whatever you want on it. So I have that. I have t-shirts, my Get Up and Glow Sunny shirts. I'm getting more made off, different shirts, black. I'm going to go with a little rock and roll-ish this time. Very cool. Yeah, I've got something planned there. What else? I don't know. You know, we've got Barbie dolls and my Barbie dolls and stuff out. So, yeah.
Wow. You really got your hand in a lot of stuff there.
Yes. Got to be busy. You have to. Right?
Yeah. As soon as you slow down, it's over.
Yep. And I also box. I do my with my supernatural family, and that I've got to get back into it because of COVID. I was out. So today I'm actually going to do 30 minutes of boxing, and I love it. That's with the Oculus, the metaverse. So that's pretty cool. We're going strong in that too. I don't know how many, 1 million, maybe 2 million in that. Yeah. All over the world. Wow. So you box, you do flow, you know, which I love. It's good. And you can do it right here in the privacy of your home. Just put that Oculus on. It's a challenge. It's on. So I recommend it. Yeah.
What got you into being such an athlete?
I was a track runner since I was little. I love to run. So in elementary school, I competed in high school and so on and so forth, and against the girls and then the men. And I outran them all. I had many awards in track and field before I got into wrestling. Yeah. Well, wrestling was hard because wrestling is not running. And here I am 5'10", right? I'm all legs And I'm like, oh my God, I got to do handstands now in wrestling. I got to be upside down a lot. This is so weird. I was so awkward at it. Oh my God. I think that's why Matt made me, honestly, the dingy blonde. He's like, I'm going to just make her do that. She's going to lose because she can't get her legs straight up in the air. So, who knows?
Well, why wrestling?
My father, he was so my father and my brother used to take the wrestlers. My father was a security before he became an officer, Glendal police officer. So he was a security guard, and he would take the wrestlers back in the 60s, late 60s, the Olympic Auditorium, early 70s, to the hotels back and forth. So he became friends with Mr. Moto, all those guys, Freddie Blassie, the Destroyer. And I'm there up front with my family watching it every weekend. We'd go right live to the matches. And I was like 5 years old going, what the heck, watching these crazy matches. Blood everywhere. At least I thought it was blood. So I think some of it was real blood. Yes. So it was pretty scary because they gagged themselves back then. So that was real blood. But Freddie Blassie scared the heck out of me with his cane. I'm like, oh my God. And he'd come out in the cage match. So we'd watch that. And then my mother loved roller derby. So we'd go to the roller derby. So it was Friday and Saturday was our outings. And I loved it. So one day G.L.O.W was on television, and there's my dad watching G.L.O.W. And he's like, you should do this. And I'm like, you're crazy, right? I go, Dad, I can't do that. These women are killing each other in the ring. I don't want to do that. I'm a model. I walk the runway. I do print modeling. I don't do this. So he made me, well, he didn't make me. He just like had to tell me, and I would do anything for my dad. Cause like I said, he was the best father. I said, sure, I'll send. He goes, send in your headshot. They're looking for new girls. So I did, not thinking I'd get picked, right? I'd get chosen. So I got chosen to go to the tryouts, and then the rest is history. That's how I got into G.L.O.W. Yeah. And it wasn't easy. That was not easy. Military training we had to do. And I'm like, oh my God, do a military push-up? I don't know how to do a military push-up. I know how to run. Just make me run. Can I just run and do laps here? And Matt goes, no, you're going to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, oh my God. So we had to go through military training. And then as you're going through the training, they pick your character. They watch you and they analyze you. So that's how I got Sonny. I reminded the director of his then deceased wife, which was Jane Mansfield. So he says, you just look like Jane Mansfield. And I have pictures where we're double, just incredible. I go, I look like a sex symbol? Okay, fine. Yeah, whatever. He goes, yeah, you've got the blonde hair, you're tan. We're going to make you Sonny, the California girl, the blonde bimbo bombshell that comes out. And that's how Sonny was created. And I sang. So he gave me knock knock jokes to sing because I used to sing. I love singing. And so that was, I go, I have to sing knock knock jokes? You're kidding. He goes, yeah, we're going to give you corny knock knock jokes. You're going to sing them. And that would piss off my opponent, right? Like I had one for Corporal Kelly, Bob Hope. It was like, hey, I've got a knock knock joke for you, everyone. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Tanks.
Tanks who?
Tanks for the memories. It's great to be on the scene, to beat the big Marine. And Corporal Kelly would come after me because now she's mad, right? And that would start the match.
Oh no.
So that I know. So I had those jokes to sing in the ring. Yeah, it was fun. It was good. It was really good. But I left towards season 4. I was season 3 and season 4. My father became ill and he passed away. In fact, the bag behind his heart collapsed from being overworked. Man. So he was waiting for a heart donor to get a new heart. And while he was in there, my father smoked Camels like they did back then, right? So one of the specialists went in there and they took a probe down, and there was a little tiny spot on his lung, and that's what spread and killed my father. It was lung cancer.
Oh my gosh.
Ultimately. So he never got his heart, and he died within 5 days. So I was called out of the ring during a match, and I went down to St. Mary's Hospital, Long Beach, and I sat there with my mom in the room with my dad. Yep. And then when I returned to be on G.L.O.W, it was over. I'm like, what happened? Where did G.L.O.W go? Yeah. So that was a sad time, but we speak about it, our stories. That's part of my story in there. It's in my comic book, and and me being a brawler, because I used to beat up bullies. I hate bullies. That's another thing. People, don't be a bully out there. Be nice. No bullying. Yeah.
That's right.
I had a brother that was 5 years older than me. And he was my favorite brother. I was raised with him. My other brother was in Vietnam, so I didn't see Tommy too much, but they used to pick on my brother because he had a hip displacement. His foot went out this way. And so he'd walk to school. People were just mean. And then they would start targeting him, and I would start fighting with them, like, leave my brother alone. Because my brother was so quiet. He was a bookworm. Like, he was very smart. He had no mean bone in his body, like wouldn't say anything. He just took the abuse. Finally, I said, I'm done. I can't stand as a little sister to hear this. So I'd start fighting everybody that picked on my brother. I meet people at the end of the corner. Let's fight. It's on. How dare you? How dare you pick on my brother? Right? So that was me. So it's in my comic book, and you'll see that if you get it, you'll understand that Sonny may have lost in the ring, but I didn't lose in real life. My passion is I will kick your butt if you're an ass. Basically. So don't be a bully.
Do you have a website?
I don't have a website. No, I just I attempted that. It was just too much, because I'm really hands-on Facebook and Instagram. I like talking to my fans personally. I did have a Sunny, the California Girl fan page on Instagram. Just know it was hacked. That's not me. So it's gone now. Yeah, they managed to do a number there. It was heartbreaking. So I'm now just Patricia Summerland on Instagram, and I will eventually get Sunny, the California Girl, back. They have it still, so it doesn't even come up. I deactivated the account, but they grabbed it, before I deactivated it. It's sad. There's a lot of scammers out there, so everybody watch out for that too, because I don't get easily scammed. It was a good one how they do it now. It's voice activated. They use my girlfriend and they put her voice there, and I thought it was her. So that's why I went for it. But for this stupid investment. So you'll find me on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. Always. Facebook, definitely. You can always find me on Facebook. But
I'll make sure that some of these links get into the description of the video. So
okay.
Make it easier for other people. Just click on it and go straight to it.
Yes. Thank you, Kyle.
Well, Patricia, thank you so much for coming on and spending this time with me. I enjoyed listening to you.
Yes, absolutely. I enjoy listening to you too, and your stories, and keep it up.
I also want to thank all of you out there. If you are new to the channel, you just happened by, I appreciate it, and I hope you'll come back. And for my regulars, I appreciate y'all, because you make it possible for me to do this. So until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless, and peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network